What were the freedom rides, and what did they aim to achieve? Have you ever wondered how a simple bus ride could change the course of history? The freedom rides were a series of civil rights protests in 1961. Black and white activists traveled together on interstate buses through the segregated southern United States. Their goal was to challenge the ongoing racial segregation in bus travel and related facilities. This was despite Supreme Court rulings that declared such segregation unconstitutional. The Freedom Riders aimed to enforce the Supreme Court decisions from Morgan v. Virginia in 1946 and Boynton v. Virginia in 1960. These rulings outlawed segregation on interstate buses and in bus terminals, restaurants, and waiting rooms serving interstate travelers. Organized by groups like the Congress of Racial Equality and the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, the Freedom Riders traveled in mixed race groups. They wanted to confront and expose the South's refusal to comply with federal law. The rides began on May 4, 1961, with a group leaving Washington, D.C., headed for New Orleans. They used facilities designated for the opposite race to provoke a response. This was a strategy to force federal enforcement of the law. The Freedom Rides represented a critical moment in American society's cultural and political transformation. They challenged the Jim Crow laws that enforced racial hierarchy and segregation in daily life, especially in public spaces like transportation. The violent reactions from segregationists, including attacks on riders and firebombing of buses, revealed the social tensions in Southern communities. The Freedom Rides aimed to achieve several outcomes. First, they sought to compel the federal government to enforce Supreme Court rulings that ban segregation in interstate travel. Second, by riding together, black and white activists demonstrated the possibility of racial equality and challenged social norms of segregation. Third, the rides attracted national media attention, exposing the brutality of segregation and the courage of civil rights activists. This increased public support for the movement. Lastly, the widespread violence and arrests pressured federal authorities to act. By late 1961, the Interstate Commerce Commission issued regulations to end segregation in interstate bus travel facilities. The Freedom Rides were a form of direct action that combined legal challenge, nonviolent protest, and interracial cooperation. They confronted racial segregation and played a significant role in the broader civil rights movement. By forcing federal intervention, they shifted public opinion against institutionalized racism in the American South. The Freedom Rides illustrate how collective action can drive social change and challenge cultural norms and legal structures embedded in society.